Welcome back. Just like that, we're back. Live Zone and Mazzi in your ear, on your screen, ready to go. Took a little break, but we're back like we never left. Like Live Zone says, we got the jerseys going on. Who you rocking with this week?
I'm rocking with Kawhi Leonard from the LA Clippers. I like it.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I got the blicky tucked right now. I'm rocking with John Morant over here. Okay. It's not going to make an appearance this week. Not on this show. You know what I'm saying? So we've been, we've missed a couple of things. We did our Super Bowl predictions. I picked the 49ers. Live Zone went with the Chiefs. I went against my better judgment, and lo and behold, Patrick Mahomes again coming through, third chip. It was a sad day in San Fran. What'd you think of that game, real quick?
I thought it was the easiest win that you could get for betting, so it just proved me right. Anytime that Patrick Mahomes is in there and another team should be, he's going to end up winning.
Yep. Taylor Swift fans got exactly what they want. Switching to the NBA because we do have the jerseys on. We have the All-Star break. We had the deadline go down. Lots of moves. So many teams. I'm pretty sure almost every single team made some sort of move in some sort of trade or acquisition of a player or giving somebody up or draft picks or whatever. That trade deadline was full of surprises and good picks and teams just building up their depth. All-Star week going on. What are you thinking of the All-Star week? It's died down for me, brother.
All right, so I think that the three-point competition was great. I thought that, adding the WNBA into it with Steph Curry was awesome. Skills was a joke. Dunk contest was a joke. But the East putting up the most points in NBA All-Star history that cannot go uh, looked over. Even though it's not as competitive as what it was in the 90s, early 2000s, it's still an accomplishment to have that many points in one game with all these all-stars and the best people in the league all in one court.
Yeah, that team was stacked with talent. It was truly an incredible roster. And do got to give them props for scoring over 200 points. I never seen that on a score ticker ever for any basketball game. So that was really cool when I saw that. You know, we're here with Dynamics on the Hardwood. That's what we're coming back to you with. We are ready to go and hop into it. We got some hot topics going on. First one I'd like to discuss is right now, All-Star break. We got half a season left. Who's going to win the championship? Who are your finals predictions from the East and the West? Live Zone, I need to know. Who you got?
So I like the question. We recently asked this question a few weeks ago. I last said that it was going to be the Celtics versus the Thunder. I still think that the Celtics are the team to beat in the NBA right now. As JJ Redick said, that we have the most important third option in the NBA and Kristaps Porzingis that is making a difference on this team. But I do think that there is a team that has to be watched out for in the East to take over what the Celtics are doing, and that's the New York Knicks. Every week it seems like they're just creeping up and moving up a spot and moving up a spot. Right now they are in the fourth seed, and they're only 2 games behind the third seed, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. And with the Milwaukee Bucks and how they're losing games, I could see them picking up on the third seed, maybe even the second seed. So the New York Knicks definitely have to be watched out for in the East. But for my Western Conference has changed a little bit. The team that I'm looking at is the LA Clippers. As you can see, I wore the jersey for a reason. I do think that they are needed to have attention towards with how many three-point shooters and with the way that they're playing right now. 1 game out of second place, 3 games out of first place in the West. It looks like the LA Clippers are hitting their stride. I do think that the Thunder still have a chance, but if they want to win the Western Conference, they have to go through this team in the LA Clippers. But from the looks of it, it should be a good series. But those are my 2 teams in the West still.
Interesting. When you started it off and you said it might have changed a little bit and you hopped over to the Celtics possibly changing, I was very intrigued by that one. The New York Knicks. As a betting man, you're betting on the New York Knicks
I
to
mean,
make it happen?
Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle are both putting up MVP numbers and not getting recognized for it. With the addition to OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson, it just looks better and better from what they're putting out there and, the defense that they are having. It's just an overall better game with OG on the team, and I think it could be a dangerous thing for other teams in the Eastern Conference.
Hey, I could see the talent on paper there and the depth. I think Jalen Brunson's him. I don't think Julius Randle is a reliable second guy and could bring you all the way there to the promised land. Looking at my picks, I'm I'm actually in the place that you were at earlier. I got the Celtics and the Thunder going to the
Yeah.
championship 1v1. Celtics, I don't think it's really I've heard a couple different things about this, but I don't really think it's close. This is the year for the Celtics to either win with Jalen or Jason Tatum, or cut your losses and get something for Jalen at least. I think it's do or die this year. I mean, you have a weak Eastern Conference. If you're telling me that the Knicks are their biggest threat, that means the East is weak. Okay? That means the East is weak. So Celtics should have no problem getting to the championship. The only team in any league or any part of it that I worry with the Celtics is the Denver Nuggets. And right now the Denver Nuggets aren't playing like they just want a chip. So I'm looking at it as it's the Celtics' best year out of all the years they've had this duo of Jason and Brown going at it. All the pieces they've added. White's in there for his second or third year at this point, and it's time to make something happen. Give us a ring. Bring a championship to the city. It's been almost 16. It's 16 years this year since we've had a chip. In Boston sports, that's unacceptable. So it's the year for the Celtics in the East. Moving over to the West and looking at the Thunder, I've just been more and more amazed by this young team. They're playing like they don't have a care in the world, and that's scary for these teams because these other teams have vets, contracts coming up, players ending towards the end of their career, trying to give it all, worried that this might be their last chance at it. Trying to do everything. They're trying not to make a mistake, whereas the other guys don't care if they make a mistake. The guys on the Thunder don't care. It's in one ear, out the other. They're young. They're experiencing something that they think they're going to experience more and more throughout their career, and they very well could. And I think it's great that they're just playing fluid. And as a team, being as young as they are going into the playoffs, I don't know if that age and veteran status is going to play a factor. If they get into a tough series with like Golden State, I could see them losing a series to Golden State. Draymond Green doing his thing or whatnot. If the veterans get under their skin or they're players that need to do that, get in there to the Thunder. I don't know how they're going to react, but on paper, how they're playing, what I'm seeing, they're the best team in the West as far as I'm concerned right now, and I don't see that stopping at all. Alexander's the man, okay? He's a walking bucket for sure. Thunder Celtics is definitely my prediction for this year.
Yeah, I definitely like the prediction. Like I said, I'm still there with the Thunder. It's just that the Clippers are playing really, really good basketball right now. They are fluent. They are spacing the floor. It doesn't matter if it's a 3-point shot or getting it down to Zubac for a dunk or James Harden going in and dishing it off to Paul George or Kawhi Leonard taking it in the mid range. They're just playing really all around great basketball right now, which is the reason why I'm going with the Clippers. And with the age that they have right now, it's just playing the factor for me. Where with Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I see him being an MVP candidate, if not the MVP of the league, and then them getting hurt in the second, third round, where it's like, all right, well, what's happening here? Why aren't we getting further? The reason why is because I think of age, I think of chemistry. It's not fully there yet, but it definitely will be. Now, I want to say something, and I also have a question for you afterwards. So it's based off of your two picks. Um, what the thing I want to say is, a lot of people are saying, and I was one of them. Trade Jaylen Brown. He's not worth the money. This and that. He can't use his left hand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. As I realize more and more what the Celtics are building in Boston. Win or lose, you keep Jaylen Brown. I don't think you get rid of him. The reason why is because this is Kristaps' first year as a Boston Celtic, and they are looking like the most efficient team in basketball. And Kristaps Porzingis is playing the best efficiency as a big man in the last 10 years, in the last decade. All right, so that's something that needs to be looked at. If you don't win this year, you get a few pieces on your bench the next year, and then after that, you go and you win a championship. There's these things that people don't realize with basketball teams is it takes time for you to gain that chemistry with your team fully to win championships, and winning a championship is not the easiest thing. I will say I do think that this is the Celtics year. I do think that they will win the Eastern Conference Finals, but those New York Knicks can't be overlooked either. It's kind of like 1A, 1B for me. But the question I have for you is with the OKC Thunder, they have a up and rising rookie in Chet Holmgren that everybody overlooked last year because he got injured. Do you think that he is the rookie of the year, or do you think that Victor Wembanyama takes the rookie of the year?
That's a great question. I would base rookie of the year, right? Let's see. Obviously stats. Obviously look at how your team is doing. If you put those two factors together for this, right? Wembanyama has got stats. Look at his team. Bottom. Okay? That's not his fault, but if he was such an impactful rookie and such an impactful player to that team, he should at least be higher than where he is in the league. A first round draft pick, a top 2 draft pick, you know, you expect to not finish last in your conference with. Okay? So with that blatantly being said, I think it's Chet all day if you got to look at it. I know OKC's got a way better talented roster, and they are probably going further because of that and are well into the playoff race because of that. But I still think if you put Chet on that Spurs team right now, I think they're not dead last.
Yeah, I don't either. I completely agree with you. My rookie of the year is Chet Holmgren. With me, it's not even about stats and everything like that because the stats are pretty neck and neck. I think that Victor Wembanyama has like a few more blocks per game than Chet does, but Chet averages more points. So for me, it's like neck and neck with stats. Looking at what the teams are doing, yes, OKC Thunder have Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We get that. Other than that, who is your next option on the OKC Thunder? It's Chet Holmgren. Chet Holmgren is the second guy on Oklahoma City. So looking at that, you have the second best option on a team, knows his role, puts up good stats, and they're the second seed in the Western Conference right now, and have a good chance to win a championship. My rookie of the year is definitely Chet Holmgren.
Yeah, I'd have to definitely agree with you on that. And I don't really go off what Pat Beverly says a lot of the time, but some of the times I rock with what he says. And he said that he has that dog in him, and that's what everybody around the league says about Chet Holmgren. He's there to make a name and stay for a while. I have not gotten that vibe from Victor. I think he's just doing his thing, making sure he performs the way he does, and not really the team. No disrespect to Victor, but for sure, Chet all day. on the Rookie of the Year ballot. Give me him. He's got all my votes, no matter how many I get. Um, that's just plain and simple.
All right. Well, that's been all for the first part of Dynamics on the Hardwood. We're going to give you a second part this week because we're getting right into the basketball season here. So stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you on the next one. And we back like we never left. I'm Live Zone. That's Mazzi. We're here with part 2 of Dynamics on the Hardwood. And we're here to talk about Bronny James and LeBron James coming together on the same team. Where do we think that they will land? So I saw something saying that, Bronny James was going to land at the Sacramento Kings, but that's if he didn't play with his father. So the places that are looking like for landing spots for Bronny and LeBron are the Los Angeles Lakers, the Cleveland Cavaliers, New York Knicks, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Miami Heat. Out of all of those places, LeBron played for 3 of them and currently plays for one. Where do we think that LeBron and Bronny will end up? Mozzie, I'll hand it to you. What we thinking?
I mean, there's a couple good spots on there. I think New York would be a hell of a market for them to play in. I think going back to South Beach is something that Bronny would want to do, but I think LeBron knows that that place is too many distractions for a rookie coming into the league, so he's not gonna want to put his son out there with him. I think Cleveland as a wrap up tour would be insane. Insane, but I don't think it's gonna happen. He already fulfilled his promise to the city. Leaves me to believe that it's not going to be OKC. I don't see any attraction for LeBron James out there except putting together a whole rookie team, but I don't think this far along in his career that he's going to want to do that. So I realistically think it's the LA Lakers. I think the Lakers are just going to make the moves, grab him, bring Bronny onto the team per LeBron James. He's already situated out there. He's already got a good thing out there. It's a great market. It's a Hollywood story. Script writes itself. Print and press it, send it out, put it on YouTube. You got a million hits. You're making a check off that. I think it's a no-brainer. Bron doesn't have to move, relocate the whole fam. Bronny's already at USC. I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's right down the street. LA Lakers is the move for me in my mind. That makes the most sense for LeBron, Bronny, and everybody involved. That's behind the scenes that people don't really think about. The whole family, the wife, everything. I think it's definitely LA is where Bronny's going to end up. What about you?
All right, that's interesting that you say that because I'm going the totally opposite way. I think LeBron's done with LA. I think he wants to leave. I don't think he wants to be there. You can see it in his play. You can see it in his face. He's just having fun. He's just shooting the basketball at this point. He's not there for winning championships. I don't think that LA is even in the conversation right now when it comes to LeBron. Especially when we talk about distractions, LA is the biggest one of them, right? When we talk about big markets and especially in basketball, what goes to your head when you get to LA? You're that big person on that big market team that has the tied for the most championships in NBA history. It gets to your head really quickly. I don't think that they will be in LA. If they're going market based, the answer is New York. Here's the reason why. Jalen Brunson's there, Julius Randle is there, OG Anunoby is there, and then the rest of the pieces can be traded. All right, so therefore you have Bronny at the point guard, OG at the 2, then after that you have LeBron at the 3. Sorry, I messed that up. Jalen Brunson's at the 1. Jalen Brunson is at the 1, Bronny at 2, OG at 3, LeBron at 4, and then after that, Julius Randle at 5, which would probably be traded for a center. But no matter where they go, it doesn't matter what the team is because LeBron controls the industry right now, and he could get whatever person on the team that he wanted. But that's if they're going market based. I don't necessarily think that they're going market based though, because I think that they're going championship based. Where's the best place that they can win a championship? I think the answer is right in front of you in Miami. You have Pat Riley running things over there, Eric Spoelstra as a great coach. You have Jimmy Butler there that will probably be traded for LeBron. And then after that, you have young pieces like Jamie, like Tyler Hero, and like Bam. Adding Bronny to that situation and LeBron, I think that that is the best option for you to win a championship. I'm just looking at it realistically. If Cleveland does get involved, Cleveland's trading every single piece that they have to get LeBron, and they're already losing Donovan Mitchell. So really, what do you have if you're on Cleveland right there? So looking at it realistically, market-wise, if you're going market-based and if you want the big money, New York is the answer. But if you're looking to win championships, Miami's your guy.
It comes down to Braun's decision, like you said. I just think the later in his career, he wants to play with his son. He'd love to win a championship. I think uprooting the whole life and moving somewhere else again, and bring the whole family with it, changing the market, learning the system at another place. It's easier to bring Bronny to LA than it is go anywhere else. Like you said with the distractions, I think there's way more bad distractions in Miami and there's way more pressure distractions in LA. So as nightlife and whatnot, Bronny being a rookie, I don't know. Could experience some fun, coming in the league with his dad there. Who knows? Has the role model. I just think the simplest answer to this is LA. Don't make it too hard. Why do you want all the moving pieces and not? New York would be cool though. So I would be down for New York. I don't want to see Braun go back to Miami.
Uh, you know, anytime that you see Pat Riley with a great like LeBron James, it's never going to be a bad thing. I mean,
Mm.
Pat, I just like how Pat Riley uh, puts himself out there. Like, yeah, we're a defensive winning team, and we're gonna whoop your ass. Like that's the '80s, '90s presence that Pat Riley gives you that not a lot of other people give you. And I think it's gonna come down really to Bronny's decision. And if Bronny wants to play around and have fun like LeBron is right now, sure, LA can be an option. But if you want to go out, you want to make an impact, you want to win championships, Miami is the clear answer.
We're gonna have to see. It's gonna be an interesting off season. It's gonna be an interesting rest of the season. I'm ready to see how this stuff shakes down. You know, I I just can't wait. I can't wait for
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
yeah. So I do have one more question before we leave and we go to the live five list.
yeah.
Um, if Bronny doesn't end up with his father somehow, some way, do you think that he could end up on OKC Thunder with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren to make a big three?
Here's a hot take. I don't think Bronny's as hot of a market ticket without LeBron.
Ooh, you see, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I don't
I
think
do.
he's as hot of a ticket as LeBron. I think his draft position is really going to depend, and his drafting team is really going to all depend on Bron. If they can make it so he plays with his dad, they're going to take him first round for sure. But I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
he might not even go first round for me if if
Uh,
uh if it wasn't
I,
for his dad. But to answer your question, to answer your original question, I could see him going anywhere. I could see him going anywhere based on that.
Yeah, all right. Well, I like that answer. I do think that OKC is an option if Bronny wants to play alone with, other people instead of playing with his father. I don't think that I agree with what you're saying about Bronny though. I will say a little hot
Have
take
you
and I
seen
will
him play at
say
USC, dog? He's
yeah,
what
yes,
is
I have.
that?
I have. But at the same time, you know, he does have James in his name for a
Yeah,
reason. You know what I mean? So I will give him credit where credit is due. He does work his ass off, and he will get better. And
yeah.
he will be a star in the league. But hot take for you is that I do think that Bryce James will be better than Bronny James. I
I could agree
do
with that.
I do think that they will both be stars in the NBA, unlike the LaMelo Ball and Lonzo Balls, though. I don't think
Well,
that.
you could argue that they
Yeah.
were stars. They were
Oh
stars
no,
for a little
you could
bit.
say that. You could say that about LaMelo and Lonzo at the beginning of his career, but I think that when we talk about Bronny, they automatically put like LaMelo Ball right next to him because of the way that they could correspond. Where it's like, oh well, what if he's a bust? What if he's not as good? What if whatever? I don't think it's going to be anything like that. Bronny James is going to be part of the future of the league, right next to Bryce James, and if Mikey Williams does make it through to the NBA.
You got to keep the blicky tuck too, brother. Just
Yep,
like Jaw. Come on,
yep,
Mikey.
yep.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I think the younger James will be better in the end. I think there's less pressure for him in the sense that Bronny's the first kid, the first one to the NBA. There's so much pressure on him. I think the younger one can ride in his shadow a little bit, go under the radar, and then surprise a lot of folks. And that's why I think he'll end up being better in the end than
Well,
Bronny James.
Bryce is also taller. Bryce has his
Yeah, I
dad's
seen it.
height.
He was like
Bryce has his
5'2"
dad's
one
height.
day on TikTok, and then the next video I saw, he was like 6'9".
Yep, yep.
That was crazy.
He's got his dad's height, but Bronny he definitely does not. So we shall see what happens. A lot could happen in a year or in the off season. Um,
Hmm.
but until then, we're gonna head up into the live five list where we got another NBA topic for you. So stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you in the live five.